Hey everybody, final thoughts time for Pathfinder's Adventure card game. Okay, let's jump right into it. Now, this game is really interesting. It's gotten a lot of heated debate about whether it's good or not from a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people love it. A lot of people think it's absolute crap. It really seems to be one of those games where you love it or you hate it. And I guess, yeah, that's a testament or, a good job. Well done designers of the game, because you never want to be the one that's kind of in between, that nobody really cares about one way or the other. It's good to engender strong feelings, even if you do have to take the bad with the good. For me and Jen, we actually like it quite a bit. We think it's actually very, very neat. And I can definitely see the way we are going to play this game in the future is we are going to finish the rest of the adventures that came in this first expansion, the Burnt Offerings, and then we're going to put it away on our shelf. And we are not going to think about this game at all for 2 months. Until the next adventure comes out. What's the next one's called? The Skinshaw Murders. And then we will promptly buy the Skinshaw Murders. We will get the game back out, we will dust off our characters, and we will have a good old time going through another, I don't know, whatever, 10, 15 adventures, and then we will put it on the shelf again. And I'm perfectly happy with that every couple of months I get to get out good old Harsk there and remind myself how he works and see what kind of new stuff I can get for him and what new adventures he'll go through, and then just put him away. To me, I'm very, very satisfied with that, because I think this game does excel at capturing that slow, steady sense of character progression that is so satisfying and so compulsive. I think actually probably one of the reasons this game gets a lot of heat is because, they did set out with very lofty goals and talked in a lot of early interviews about how, yes, this will be a full-on, the full RPG experience just in handy-dandy card form. Won't that be great? And, maybe set up expectations that could not be met, because this is not that at all. I mean, I said in the intro, I think, if I recall correctly, this has less in common with, a pen and paper campaign system and more in common with a computer game like Diablo. Well, actually, I was going to say NetHack, but I wouldn't say NetHack because that's always a throwaway game. This game is very fast. It's very simple. It's, it is all about, there's more to it than just flipping a card and doing what it says, which everybody just dismisses this game as that. It is not as simple as that. I think anybody who says that has probably only played the first couple missions, which admittedly are blindingly, stupidly simple and stupidly easy. But the more you play, the deeper, the more missions you go through, you start seeing more interesting stuff. The main decisions you're making in this game are, where do you want to be? Where do you want your teammates to be? Because you have different choices depending on whether you're with somebody or separated somebody. I mean, you want to be split up so that you can empty out the cities faster. You want to be together because a lot of abilities need to have people together. There's an entire character devoted to tagging along with others so you can help them. Whereas other players, like my guy, really wants to stay away from other people so you can help them from a distance. The fact that you find more and more ways to actually be able to control the decks of, the location decks. You'd be able to, use the spyglass to rearrange them. You can use the dwarf's ability to search stuff. So you can make decisions about, I should not fight this. You should fight this. Yeah, but if you gave me that thing, then I'd be able to fight it much better. Because at the end of the day, whenever you're looking at a card, there really isn't that much of an interesting decision to make. It is just about looking at all the cards everybody has and doing some fairly quick computations to figure out how you can get the best probability for success. Although first you decide, do you even care about success? Do I care about collecting this ally? You know what? It'd be nice to have, but I just discard him immediately anyway. I don't care, so let's not do it. Oh, I do care about him, but I only care about him a little bit. Do I care about him enough to burn a Blessing of the Gods? It leads to some interesting decision making, but still simple decision making. I guess the interesting thing is, as a co-op game, it's decision making where, everybody's going to agree. It's not like, you'll get into, heated discussions about, no, we have to do this. You have to be over here and do this and that and the other. Everybody will very quickly come to consensus because the decisions are pretty simple to do. But they are still decisions. And, on a light level, it is kind of fun to just sit back and say, oh, wow, look at this guy. What can we possibly do? And just quickly solve the puzzle of what the best way to tip the odds in your favor is, and then roll the dice and, cross your fingers and hope for the best. It's implicitly fun and simple and dramatic, and it plays really quick. And it's still satisfying to say, oh wow, with all these different myriad things I can do, all these abilities, all these places I can be, all these locations, yeah, this is the one. This is the one. This is our plan. Locked and load. Let's go. That feels very, very nice. So that's all. That I would basically take issue with everybody saying, well, you just flip a card and you do what it says. Flip a card, do what it says. Do that for half an hour and you're done. I don't think it's as simple as that, and I don't think that's being fair to the game. Unless you've only played maybe the first couple missions, which are a little bit on the simple side, and you haven't really found much in the way of interesting items yet. Let's see. I also think, I think of this, playing this game really reminds me of the original Diablo when I first got that game, and I was playing with people at work and I was playing with Jen at home. And I remember they were really harsh about having people control their players, and I had to download an app that would let me actually make a copy of my character so I could transfer them from machine to machine and all kinds of stuff like that. But that I would actually play that game solely so that I could catch up with other people. And I could imagine myself, if I had a group of people and I hadn't played with them for a while, I would definitely go and play just so I could level up and keep playing with them, because it scratches that itch. Making your character bigger, better, stronger, faster is just so fundamentally on a deep level satisfying to play. And this game captures it brilliantly in a way that normally only pen and paper and computer games play. But what's missing from here is the imagination. There's not really you can't call it a pen and paper or a pen and paper like game, because without that imagination, without that human component, it is just a bunch of random cards. It'll never really capture that. But it does feel like you're playing Diablo. It does feel like, Diablo is not a particularly complicated game either. At any given point, if you were to pause the game, yes, there's a clear thing I should do here. I should focus on that monster as opposed to that one. I should use this ability instead of that one. And then you just click like a crazy person. This is the same thing, except you roll dice like a crazy person. And if you ever found yourself enjoying Diablo, or any game, or any massively multiplayer online game, World of Warcraft, EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, any of them, I think if you go in with the right mindset, you will enjoy this, because that experience is what this game truly delivers in analog form. And that's something we really, really enjoy. I'm looking forward to spending the next few years of my life getting out Harsk and Linny every once in a while and just seeing what kind of trouble they can get up and what fat loot they can collect. That's great. That permanence and consistency. And I really hope to see in the future a little bit more creativity from the designers in terms of the kind of stuff we do. I mentioned a bit in the closing, or the Endgame video, that there is, of all the scenarios that come with this base game, they all follow the exact same template except for one. And I can't wait to play that one, because they should be doing more. There should be more variety. And I expect that'll be the case in the future. So anyway, very positive about the game. If you go in with the right attitude, I think you will be too. There's no reason not to enjoy this game. If you just go in understanding it's a simple experience. It's almost, at some points, it's less a game and more of an activity, but it's a fun, pleasant activity of grind-a-thon, level up, that this game delivers. Now, here's my complaints about the game. Okay, one thing that really bothers me, and actually this bothers me hugely. In fact, maybe this is the only really thing that bothers me. There is no in-game penalty for letting the clock run out. And because of that, there is no danger that your character will ever die. Maybe if you're playing a little bit too close to you might be able to get hit by, actually it's just not possible. You cannot die if you don't want to, and that is because if you ever get to a situation where it's looking grim and you don't know if your team is going to be able to make it anymore, all you have to do is just stop exploring. Just stop exploring, because exploring is optional. And if you never explore, nothing will ever happen, good or bad. And you can just run out the clock and say, basically pass. Do that 15 times in a row, however many cards are left in the countdown timer, and you instantly lose, but you've lost nothing. So, to a certain extent, that doesn't really bother me. In the game we just played, excuse me. After we finished the extended playthrough, it looked really dire. It actually looked like we were in a bit of trouble. And we did talk briefly about, maybe we should just run the clock out, because we weren't sure if we'd be able to actually beat the guy in time. But then we came up with a plan, and we got a little bit lucky, and we found him, and we won. And we won with just one turn on the clock. But I could imagine just saying, yeah, you know what, we're only 20 minutes into this, let's just stop now. Let's just stop now, reshuffle the decks and start over. Just recreate the village decks and start over. And hey, I could imagine, wow, right off the bat, very first turn, second or third turn, look at these great cool weapons we got. Let's just stop right now. Let's just lock it in, get these weapons, and there's just no downside. Strictly speaking, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's the, having absolutely no fail state, which allows players, you could actually just create an adventure. The game actually encourages you to create your own adventures where you have no locations to visit except for the ones that have no monsters. And you could just go into locations over and over and over again for the sole purpose of collecting loot, and that would be the equivalent of just like running around in the low-level area, just trawling through dungeons in Diablo just to try and pick up more stuff. And it's not very satisfying, it's not very fulfilling, but it works. And it's a great way to make your character stronger, so he'll be able to have, or she will be able to have an easier time in the higher levels. I really think that's a mistake, and I really wish there had just been some kind of consequence for letting the clock run out. Something that would prevent me from literally, what is it? There's one town, or one location called Sanctuary, I think. There's probably other ones like this too. It's the temple, where there are literally no monsters and no barriers. There's only weapons, spells, items, and blessings. And you could just load this up with some random weapons, spells, items, run through there really fast, get what you get, and then just do it again, over and over and over again, and get any weapon you want in the game without ever facing a single danger, because you don't have to worry about failing in a mission. That just seems broken to me. And I know or at least I'm imagining, the answer from the designers would be, hey, Doc, it really hurts when I do this. And the Doc says, well, don't do that. Fair enough. That's a perfectly valid answer. I know if I were to engage in that behavior, I'm kind of breaking the game, and I'm not hurting the game, I'm hurting myself, I'm hurting my own enjoyment of it, and I just shouldn't do it. I should always play to the hilt and fight right up until the end and put that fear of death in there. But the game really should have done that. And I do think it was a mistake. Just some simple stuff like, if you fail a mission, pick your top 5 most valuable, just based on, acquire values, your top 5 most valuable items, randomly lose one. Just like that. Simple, and then suddenly you care about whether you win or lose. Maybe you don't care that much because most of your items are really crappy. But when you get up to a higher level and all your items are good, you will definitely not want to run the clock out. Or at least you'll think twice about running the clock out. You'll actually hedge your bets and actually balance in your mind, should we go for it? Can we finish this? Because I don't want to take the chance of losing my really great, awesome, bastard sword of whatever to you, whatever. A little thing like that would have gone a long ways. And it's a real shame that something like that isn't there, that there isn't official. Obviously, you can make your own variants. I've actually started a thread on Board Game Geek about that, trying to figure out what the best, most reasonable, and consistent variant to do something like that would be. But I don't know even if we find one, if I'll ever use it because it's not official. And I prefer to play by the official rules. And the designers have decided, no, there should be no danger and no threat in this game at all, because we have absolutely no penalty for running out the clock. Huge mistake. Bothers me a lot. I will always endeavor to not take advantage of it, but just the fact that I know it's there, just the fact that I know when the going gets tough, there is no way I'm going to let Harsh die. I'll just run the clock out. That's a real shame. That was a big mistake. It would have been so easy for them to fix it. Bothers me a lot. And that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that bothers me. I know some people complain about the thematic incongruity of the game, that, finding a cave-in when you're on a rope bridge. That doesn't make any sense. Now, actually, I think that's a place where imagination does come into it, because, when you see a weird little thing, well, this doesn't make sense, then just come up with a story for why it does make sense. I guarantee you can. I know Jen and I can. And I'm sure anybody who's ever been a DM or ever been in a pen and paper adventure should be able to come up with a reason that, yes, the location is not just the rope bridge itself. It's the rope bridge and all the area around it. A rockfall could be a landslide that was on the south side of the rope bridge that actually threatens to destroy the rope bridge. There are ways around that. Use your imagination, and I don't think the incongruity is an issue at all. And I do think, for the most part, the game is actually thematically sound. Actually, I really enjoy that. And when it's not, to me, it's a fun challenge to come up with, well, why is this thing here? Because of this, that, and the other. And then suddenly, you're storytelling again. And so in a small way, the pen and paper element of a role-playing game does come in. You can flex your creative muscle, I guess, a little bit. I guess I have been doing that some. Because, the random cards, they can they can be the framework that allows you to tell a story if you want to. And since there's really not that much else going on in the game, other than getting fat loot and leveling up, Jen and I do find we do that. We always do, when the roll that puts it over the top is that D4 that it needs, we always come up with a little reason how, Jen's dog or her snake or her crow or whatever came in and saved the day. Because it enhances and accentuates the role-playing nature of the game, which is fantastic and very, very entertaining. And that's why we enjoy it, and that's why I think we will... there's a subscription service where you can subscribe, so all the expansions will automatically be sent to you. I don't know if that'll work in Europe, in Malta. I'm looking into it though, because I'm sure we will continue to enjoy playing this game for quite some time. I don't know that we will ever roll another character and go through these missions again. Maybe somewhere down the road. But Jen and I already enjoy Harsk and Linny too much. Why would we want to start over? We like these characters. We want to take them to new places. We want to get them new stuff. We want to level them up and get their strength up and let them hold more cards so they get even more powerful, so more combos can happen, and we look forward to doing that. And we're thankful that the Pathfinder adventure card game will give us the opportunity to do that, because really right now there's no other analog game out there that really does it like that, short of going to pen and paper. And so in that regard, it has succeeded. That's Pathfinder adventure card game, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was useful. Thanks to Jen for stepping in. She did eventually figure out which ally she was going to keep. I think she did. It was heartbreaking. She got rid of the dog. But it's okay, because she can always get the dog back later. Yeah. I think I already did talk about how low-level stuff will get worked out. So she has time for now to get the dog back if she wants it, but eventually the dog will get phased out. So anyway, don't worry about Jen's dog, Bernard. Everything's cool. We're having a good time. Looking forward to playing some more Pathfinder adventure card game. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm sure I made a few mistakes. Please point them out to me. I will definitely add notes. And otherwise, I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.